Hi everyone, welcome to my yoga YouTube channel. My name is Meg and today I am going to be showing you how to do a Malasana squat, or some people call it a Yogi squat, some people call it a garland squat, however you want to call it. I personally use Malasana more than anything else really. I'm going to show you step by step how to get into the pose and some different variations as well, and these variations include flexibility variations and also some different mobility stretches or mobility exercises that you can do as well. If you've never done a Malasana squat before, or maybe if you've got tighter hips or tighter heels or ankles, that's the word, I would definitely recommend grabbing yourself a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, then using something like a few cushions piled up on top of each other just to give a little bit of height and support. You could use a little stool, something like that, and that's just going to help you get some support. Other than that though, you don't really need anything, and when you're ready we will get started. So I'm going to take you straight through how to get into the pose, and to do this I like to stand with my feet hip width apart or just wider than hip width apart. If you've got a yoga mat, this is great because what you can do is basically place your feet to the edges of your yoga mat, so the outside edges, and then keep the heels where they are, so your heels are down into the mat, and then take your toes out to a 45-degree angle, so your toes are coming off of the edge of the mat. Place your hands down and in front. If you've got your yoga block, also place that in front of you. Maybe place the hands onto the block. We're going to take a deep bend into the knees and take the hips down. And this is where we're going to take this step by step. So your full Malasana squat, the basic things that you need to have a flat back. So if your back is rounded over, we need to have a flat back. You need to push your knees back and behind. So if they're coming here, we want to push them back using your muscles. So this is quite a difficult and quite an intense pose, especially if you have got tighter hips. So we're going to take this one step at a time. If you're leaning forwards, place your hands on a block. Get yourself upright. The taller the block, obviously the more it's going to help to get your spine flat, which is what we're looking for, a nice straight spine. If you haven't got a yoga block, like I said, use something to keep you upright. If you can have a flat back with your yoga block, you can take the block away and place it in front, your hands down and in front of you. Again, flat back, straight spine. If you're rounded, grab the block or focus on creating that straight back. You want to think about pushing your tailbone back and behind, so like you're sticking your tailbone out. If you can place your hands down into the mat and you have a flat back, this is when you can take the hands away, maybe bring them in at heart center, and your elbows can come on the insides of the legs to push your knees back. Wherever you are, so whether your hands are on a block, down into the mat, or in at heart center, we want your knee to be in line with your second toe. So if your knees are rolling in, we want to use your muscles to kind of push them back and behind. Breathing here, flat back, sit up tall, push those knees back, whether your hands are down into the mat or on a block or in at heart center. This is your yogi squat. Your modifications are using the block in front of you and doing this step by step. From here, your variations. Let's do mobility variations to begin with. So one of my favorites is to move from one toe to the other. And this is actually the other thing I should have said about your squat. You want to make sure you keep your knees down. So if you're up onto your toes in your Malasana squat, focus on bringing those heels down so you're not up onto the toes. But if you want to use that as a mobility stretch, so if you can keep your heels down and you want to lift up and down, it's going to work through the feet. It's going to work through your ankles. You can shuffle from one foot and then the other. And this is a lovely mobility stretch. This is quite nice to do first thing in the morning, warming up through the ankles. Or if you want to make this a little bit more intense, you can move the knees. So again, either with your hands down on a block or on the floor, take the knee down, bring it up. Opposite knee down, bring it up. You can take the hands away and do this as well. This is quite an intense hip mobility workout. So if this does feel too much, you can always sit back onto your knees if you're looking for hip mobility to work your way up into this. Take your hands behind and drop the knees either one at a time or both at the same time. Work on your hip mobility. So start with these windscreen wiper style movement, then you work your way up to keeping your knees still and dropping one knee down and then the other. And from there, you can then come up into your yogi squat, either with your hands down in front or in at heart center, whichever gives you a flat back, and then dropping one knee and then the other. You can also come into a bind when you're in your yogi squat. So let's start with lifting one arm. So these are more flexibility and active flexibility. I'm just going to shuffle my legs back so I don't hit my little diffuser. So we're in our yogi squat and we're going to take the right hand on the inside of the right leg and down into the mat. The left arm comes up. So we're revolving and twisting here. Make sure you're using your muscles to open your knees out and gazing up towards the ceiling. Maybe do the same on the other side. Left hand comes down, right arm comes up. Sometimes I will breathe and move each way. Again, you can use this as like a flexibility, shoulder mobility kind of exercise, but it's also, if you hold it, going to help with flexibility. If you want to add on from here and take this into a bind, you'll take the right hand down on the inside of the right leg, left arm comes up, and then start to bring the left arm back and behind. See if you can touch your right butt cheek, and then maybe wrap the right arm back and behind. Push the hands down and gaze up towards the ceiling, pushing your knees back and behind. So I'll do the same on the other side so you can see what my hands are doing a little bit more. Left arm comes down, inside of the left leg, right arm comes up, right arm comes all the way back and around. See if you can touch kind of where your right butt cheek is or where your right hip is, the back of the hip. And then bring the left hand so that your left arm is wrapping around the knee. Grabbing hold of the hands if you can and push the hands down. If they don't grab and they're here, that's absolutely fine. But if you can get them to touch, then push them down towards the floor. Keep your knees pushed outwards, lift your chest up high, and that's how you come into your bind. When you want to come out of your Malasana squat, one of the best ways to do it is to take the hands down into the mat, spread through the fingers, take the weight forwards, and slowly lift all the way up, and heel toe your feet so they're hip width apart. Then you can come down onto your knees, breathing here. Obviously, if you're bringing your Malasana squat in a flow, that might not be how you leave your Malasana squat, but if you're just practicing the pose, that is one of the best ways to do it, is to lift back up, basically come the way you came. The other thing that you can do in your Malasana squat as well, and this is one of my favorite things to do in the morning, if you've watched any of my morning yoga classes on my channel, you've probably seen me do this, but is to come into a lizard lunge and then a Malasana squat, and this is really good at opening your hips. I have got a lizard lunge breakdown up at the top, I'll pop it, so if you feel really confused about what lizard lunges are, you can have a little look, but we'll go over it really quickly. So basically, starting in your tabletop, hands are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. We'll lift the left leg to begin, just so you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to step the left foot next to the left hand. Your heel is down into the mat and your toes are coming off at a 45-degree angle. The same position with your foot as what we do in our Malasana squat. We'll then take your back knee behind, so your right knee, and you should feel a nice stretch here. This is more of a hip stretch. And from here, you can do things like move through the hip, roll forwards and backwards. I go through all of that on my lizard lunge breakdown. But if your hands are down by your side or down in front underneath your shoulders and you're spreading through your fingers, what you can do is lift your back knee and step it up. So it's doing the same position with the foot, the heels are down into the mat, toes are coming off the edge, and down into your Malasana squat. Maybe do a few movements here. You can do those hip movements. You could come up onto one foot and then the other. And then maybe do the opposite the other way. So you're picking up the left foot and stepping it back and behind to come into your lizard lunge. And you can just move between the two. So you can literally lift, step, down, lift, step, lift, step, down, lift, step. So those are a few different things that you can do in your Malasana squat. You can also do things like a Skandasana, which is kind of similar to this as well, but I'm going to go through that in a separate video. So if you are interested in how to come into a Skandasana, so it's kind of like a half version of this, which is really good at opening your inner hips up, have a little look at that. I'll pop that so that it comes on after this one, so you can click on that video to watch next. I really hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it's helped you find some confidence and clarity in your Malasana, garland or yogi squat pose. This is a really intense pose. You can probably hear from my voice just from teaching it. It is quite a lot, especially because there's quite a nice mobility point to it. So you can bring it into mobility exercises, you can bring it into a gym routine, and it's quite a nice pose that's going to stretch, strengthen, and help with mobility. It's one of my favorites for sure. This class is one of many different classes that I'm doing, which is all on a playlist, which I'll pop up at the top. So if you're interested, or you're a beginner at yoga and you're trying to learn all of the different poses, or maybe you're someone that's been practicing a while, but you want to either refresh your knowledge or just make sure that you're doing every single pose confidently, safely, correctly, and bringing everything into the right place, have a little look there and see if there's any poses. Maybe there'll be some ones that you've never heard of before, I don't know. But yes, I really hope you have enjoyed this class. Please like and please subscribe if you haven't already. And I look forward to practicing with you all again soon. Thanks. Bye.